we have a problem. I can't use this front. The old front had channel 1. This better front, the later version, starts at channel 2. Welcome back to part 3, Hallicrafters T-54 early version. Thought I was through with the chassis, but vertical height was not really doing what it was supposed to do. The way this circuit works, you don't have a linearity, but as you increase the height, there's a height control. As you increase the height, it should get taller top to bottom equally, and it wasn't. It was starting to stretch out at the top, so I found a couple of things. These two resistors right here, R24 and R25, they had drifted. And this is in the vertical amp circuit, so that's definitely going to affect the height and the linearity of the picture. So here they are, 100K. I'll show you what they test here in just a minute. And I also found this 680K. It's right here. It goes to pin 4 of the vertical oscillator tube. And it had drifted. This goes directly to the vertical hold. They call it vertical sync. Didn't make a whole lot of difference. It probably centered the control up a little better. It had drifted up to about 800K. So let me show you. Here's the first 100K or 100,000. That's what K means. And it's 160. But this other one, even further off. Again, 100K. 262. Definitely both bad. And the 680K, 804. And one other thing that I did notice, when you turn this height control, as you advance it, the bottom should go a little lower, kind of stopping, and then it's almost wanting to fold over a little. Well, I think that's because of these high voltage caps. These ceramics, they just don't work quite as well as a film type do. I may change those back to the film type. And we'll see if it makes any drastic difference in the picture. Here's some Sprague. These are 8 kV, 0.0047, and took this one completely out, replaced it here. This one, the leads aren't quite long enough, so we just unsoldered this end. We got a jumper wire. So, did it make any difference? I think it did. All right, I'm going to advance the height. And you can see the bottom scooted down when I got all the way to the end. These are 10%, where most of these ceramics are 20%. They do tend to drift more than those will. Plus those are 8,000 volts. I think we have more than enough height now that I can back it down if I decide to leave these in, and I think I will. That picture looks more in proportion now. We can center the picture more toward the top, like that. And it looks a lot better. So let me mount these permanently, and we'll put the 7JP4 in and just see if it looks different. And yes, that's much better. The height, See, we're equal top to bottom. So I'm glad I found those bad resistors and changed those high voltage caps. We got a much better looking picture now. Now we're going to do some cleaning on the top of the chassis, because you will see it when you can open the top of the set and look right down in the chassis. So we want it to look nice. I've already cleaned all the controls and the switches on the presets here on the channel tuning, so we should be good there. Pull these knobs off of the channel switches that you push, cleaning them up. And I found an easy way to get them really clean. The screwdriver fits pretty well. You can just spin it around and around. That'll get them really clean and gives them a little bit of shine too. And to make sure we got them all pushed on enough, we can release where they all should be at the same level, and you can see that one needs to go in. Now we're looking straight across. That was out a little bit. Now this fine tuning, yes, it's been repaired. You can see the solder, but it works okay, so I'm not going to bother it. And I just cleaned the knob with it on there. I think these knobs need cleaning. I believe they do. These knobs have a set screw that tightens. Just a round shaft on the control. So did them come off of some of the radio products that they made? Possibly. And we got a couple of loose controls here. That's it backed off, so definitely want to tighten them up before we put the knobs back on. That one's loose too. A little better. I'm going to paint this choke. Big as a transformer, but it's a choke. So we'll paint it. And may even paint the tops of these metal clad tubes. Didn't take long. And this is just a semi-gloss black, just a craft paint. Okay, that's about as good as I can get it. So we'll put the CRT back in, plug it up one more time just to be sure everything's still working okay. Forgot to mention, put a grommet in this hole where the AC input wires go in. Didn't have one, probably didn't need one, but made me feel a little better by putting a grommet around them. Looks to be working okay. So strange, every time you turn this off, you turn the contrast all the way down, because this is on off contrast. Volumes here, brightness, horizontal and vertical. So if you just turn the switch on and stop, you may not have a picture. If you do, you got a faded out picture like that. So you want to make sure you turn the contrast up. I haven't done any adjustments on those back controls after cleaning the knobs, so I think we're a little stretched out there at the top. That's about as good as we're going to be able to get the chassis. Let's talk about the cabinet. This is the front that came off of the set. I haven't tried cleaning it. I will attempt that before we go another direction. But from just looking at it, I think that's rust right there. And that grill comes off, so it would be possible to take this grill off and respray it. But the bottom part, unless it cleans up a lot better than I think it will, you got your decals to contend with here. Because if you spray this, you're going to have to put all new decals on for it to look right. I'll try cleaning, but if that doesn't work out, I think we're going to just swap the fronts. Well, about as I expected. I stopped cleaning here. I cleaned this area. And that's rust coming through. Several areas of trying to pop through the paint. So I think we'll save this front for the other TV, and we'll be using this cabinet. Well, we do need to clean this off. This has just a piece of wood that the speaker attaches to. All right. Now, in looking at this, the only issue here is on the fine tuning. It's worn off, so I'm not worried about that. But otherwise, a nice looking front. And just wiped the speaker off with, just dusted it, no water. Okay. So now we'll get the chassis out of this cabinet. Here's another difference that the later version has. Look at these feet. Where the one we just restored just had those little small round feet. So I guess they thought that needed improving. Same 4 mounting holes. AC outlet removed. Antenna wire, I just cut it where it went through the back. And we got a filter cap loose. Goes right there. Pretty clean. The only thing I don't like about using this cabinet, that's the wrong label, of course. It's a T54A, which is just an improved version. So I've got an idea on how to reproduce these labels. Took a picture of the old label and got it approximately the same size. And I'll just cut this out. We'll glue it inside the cabinet. And I'll do the same thing here. I'll take a picture of this label, make a copy of it, and we'll put it with the other set that we're going to restore later. Just a little bit larger than the old one, but that's no big deal. And it even has the same color and defects there on the edge. So that'll go right in there. And this other one, it turned out almost exactly the same size. So we'll cut this out and we'll just remove enough of this to where this new label will cover it. Looks like an old label. And here's the label off of the one we haven't restored. Just put it over here with it. Make sure we put that back on when it's finished. I'll clean up these feet before we put them back on. And these washers, that one doesn't look too well. So to solve that, just flip it over. Put the cabinet over here on this table. And this AC cord is still flexible, good shape. So I'm going to reuse it. Good shape. So let's get the chassis over here and slide it in. And I put my phenolic board in the bottom, insulator. You know, I suppose I could put antenna terminals here on this back, but that's not the way it was made. There it is. Okay, I think we're in position. Because those knobs in the back push through those holes, the back is stable, so we can just put the front two screws in and we'll tip it up. Okay, I'm going to set it back over on the bench and we'll get this AC jack mounted. The holes for this are oblong, so I guess that allows you to position it where it needs to be. Let's see how that works. Yep, that's where it needs to be. Now this 7JP4, there's nothing that holds it to the chassis here in the front. The way this works, this rubber boot goes over it, and then this goes into the front, and that keeps the front of the tube where it needs to be. Now, there's a ring here that moves. That allows you to move the tube a little bit each way where you have a straight picture from right to left. So we're just going to leave it loose for now. Been cleaning on these knobs, and while they're clean, they're really dull. So we're just going to put some clear over these, and that should bring them back, make them look a lot better. And because the weather is so bad outside, temperatures down in the 20s, expecting some more snow, I'm just going to use this. This is just model car top coat. It's what I used on the other knobs. The rubber gasket, or rubber boot, whatever you want to call it, goes around the picture tube. And trying to get it straight. Good right there. So let's put the front on and see what it looks like then. We have a problem. I can't use this front. Now, I can, but I would have to eliminate the channel 1 switch, somehow get it out of the way where it wouldn't hit this front, because as you can see, the old front had channel 1. This better front, the later version, starts at channel 2. So that's not going to work. I think the back is the same as far as the mounting screws. They look to be. So, yeah, I could bend that channel 1 switch over where it wouldn't interfere with the front. Just bend it back here and get it out of the way. But then when I restore the other set, I'm going to have a front that has channel 1 on it where the TV doesn't. So, different plan. I'm going to remove this speaker grill. Well, this entire grill, I call it, there's a speaker in it, but this entire upper grill, I'm going to remove it, put this one over into the old front, and do some more cleaning on that. Maybe I can make it look a little better. This has 1/4-inch nuts that hold it on. I hope they line up with the other one. We shall see. Okay, that was pretty easy. So hopefully this will fit. And it does. Okay, I'm going to leave that off for now. Now I'm going to do some aggressive cleaning on this. I'm just using Windex. Okay. That cleaned up. With that good upper grill, it looks pretty nice. So now let's see if we can put the front on. Kind of a tight fit around this rubber gasket here on the front, but two on the front. We still got two on the inside, the top. We'll get those put on. The rubber CRT surround, it is straight. So let's tighten down these screws on this ring. And speaker plugged in. And we can do away with this cheater cord, because with that top closed, you can't do any of the adjustments. So we're going to use the cord that's in the top. And picture looks good, playing well. So let's get the knobs put on. Hey, that front looks better than I thought it would. Not too bad. The grill did help. No orientation on these knobs. They're just knurled shafts, so you just push on. And that clear we put on there does make them look a little better. Kind of makes this front look better too. A good brightness.
Fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. Hi-Yo Silver! Away!
Here's what I did on the antenna input. Just soldered this matcher directly to the twin lead, and then just put some cloth tape so that'll prevent it from moving around much.
Well, Uncle, after all, we have learned much.
All right, you better get some rest now. We go on our buffalo hunt at dawn.
Are you sure the guide you've hired for the hunt tomorrow is...
And that's going to wrap up the restore on the 1948 Hallicrafters Model T-54 early version. Our next restore will be another Hallicrafters. This is a later version. Uses a small IF tubes. And the one we took the grill off of to put on the set we just finished. So we got a lot of work to do on this one. Not only the electrical part, but the cabinet. She's pretty rough, but we can make it look better. So be looking for that video. Thanks for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the video. And if you did, how about giving us a like and subscribe to our channel? Thanks.